Brackencherry here again. Today I'm going to teach you and share with you the secret of unconditional cash. How do I know about unconditional cash? From my own personal experiences. 22 years worth of personal experience, both giving unconditional cash and receiving it. Receiving it and giving it. But before I get into that today, I've got to talk about two other subjects. Very, very important subjects. You're going to want to hear all of this. The first subject is the economic system, the monetary system on planet Earth. The second subject is unconditional love and conditional love. Okay, let's get started. Let's talk about the monetary system, the economic system. All of you have been seeing and experiencing what's going on in the news, the bailouts, the depression, the recession, whatever they want to label it. And you've been seeing more and more of the things that are happening on planet Earth that are being exposed in the monetary system. The ills, the things that don't work, the things that do. Well, let's talk about it for a minute, because this system has been in place a long time. Money first started being issued by trading gold in for script. Then it evolved into banking. Then banking evolved into the entire monetary system globally with multiple currencies, stocks, bonds, commodities, you name it. Okay, let's talk about that system. What's it based on? This is very, very important. It's based on a negative polarity. And what do I mean by that? First of all, in collective psyche on planet Earth, most people relate to money as negative. They relate to it as the root of all evil, or somebody else has got it and they don't. Well, why is it a negative polarity? It's negative because it's based on debt. It's based on printing of money without anything to back it up. That changed in the early 70s, and before that it changed in the early 1900s when the Federal Reserve was formed. We're not going to go over all the details, but the point is the money, the psyche, the system is a negative polarity. Debt-based. The governments are in debt, the religions are in debt, the corporations are in debt, the U.S. public is in debt. I'm in debt, for God's sakes, and you probably are too. So what are we going to do with money being owed in the trillions? It's not that there's a lack of money. There's trillions and trillions of dollars out there in both the U.S. dollar and all the other currencies. But it's all debt-based. It's borrowed from a bank, loaned to a government, loaned to the public, or you work really hard and make it. And if you're one of the few smart ones, you never got in any debt. You paid for everything you got, and you're probably doing semi-okay now. But for the rest of the world, it's a big problem. So how? How are we going to balance this? From all the skyrocketing debt to hardly anybody having any money. Okay, that's where unconditional cash comes in. And we'll get into that in a minute. So, we have a negative-based system called money. Money, in most people's minds, is something, oh my God, I got to pay the bills with it, I don't have enough of it, where am I going to get it, I work hard for it, can't seem to get ahead, all of these things. Then there are other people having abundance of it, making a lot of it. There's Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and all of these billionaires and millionaires. 2% of the human population controls 98% of the money. Well, what's wrong with that picture? It's not that these 2% deserve it more, and it's also not that we deserve it less. It's a negative-based system. This is very, very important to understand. In a negative-based system, the few control the money, and the many don't have much of it. Now, how are you going to change that? Well, I'm going to share that with you here in just a minute. What we have got to do is we have to understand the flow of energy. Money is energy. Even the term money sets off bills. So let's call it cash. Cash is a way better term. Where I come from in Texas, cash talks and BS walks. And that was a saying I grew up with. So let's call it cash. That changes the perspective considerably. Now, cash can be $20 bills, $100 bills, checks, electronic, it's all cash. So let's start referring to money as cash through the rest of this. Now, how are we going to change or help to change, at least in our lives first and other lives second and down the road, the polarity of money? If you borrow money, if you earn money, if you save money, if you are so attached to money that you can't share it or that it makes you cringe. And see, I went back to the term money deliberately. Well, now, let's shift it. If you have some cash and you're walking around in your pocket, you can spend it. You can share it. Now, let's talk about the energy of cash. It can be changed to positive. How you do that? We have to talk about the second subject, love. Several types of love, many types of love. A tremendous amount of types of love, but let's talk about two of them. Conditional love. Conditional love is where I love you if you love me. I love you if you do what I'd like you to do. I love you if we have a harmonious relationship. Well, let's go back to cash. The monetary system has done a lot for us. It enabled us to come out of the Stone Ages all the way through the industrial, information, computer, internet revolution and created phenomenal abundance on earth. But not for everybody. Phenomenal for 2%, another 3% pretty good, and 95% not good at all. Now, let's go to love again. Conditional love, I love you, you love me. You don't love me, I'm not going to love you. Let's go to cash. I give you cash, you do what I say. You don't do what I say, I don't give you cash. There's the problem with both of those energetics. It's not that they don't serve us. It's not that they haven't served us. They have, but it's still a problem. So what's the solution? Let's talk about unconditional love. Unconditional love comes from the heart and the mind and the whole beingness. And it says, I love you no matter what. I love you with no strings attached. I love you whether you do what I like or not. I love you no matter how you might act. I love you for who I know you are in here. Okay, now let's talk about cash. Let's take some cash. This is a 20. It can be a 1, a 5, a 10, a 20, a 100, $1 million check, a $10 million electronic transfer. It doesn't matter. You take the money and you bless it from within. You bless it from your heart. You bless it from your mind. You bless it with unconditional love. What happens? This cash, that's energy, now has a charge of unconditional love on it. So it circulates, and that energy rubs off on all the other money. But here's the next step, and what's very, very important. You bless it with unconditional love, and you say, from your heart to who you feel like giving it to, here's some unconditional cash. What happens? The person you give it to goes, oh, wow, thanks. This is incredible. Why are you doing this? Because I want to help transform your economics and mine. And they say, well, just for free? You're just giving me this cash for free? Yes, and I'm blessing it with unconditional love too. What does that do? Well, let me tell you. That person has that 20, that 100, that 1,000, that million, and he goes out and does whatever he wants to with it. Empowers his dream, funds his project, starts a business, goes and blows it in Vegas. Doesn't matter. Has a great time. And that money circulates with the energy of unconditional cash and the energy of unconditional love rubbing off on all the other money. And what happens to the giver? Me. Something even better. The old saying, which is a universal law, what goes around comes around multiplied. Now, some people will tell you, if you give it away and expect it to come around multiplied, it won't come to you. That's total bunk. You can't stop it. It's a law. You can expect it, not expect it, forget it, do whatever you want to with it. It will still come back around multiplied. So I give $20 unconditional cash away, blessed with love, unconditional love, and all of a sudden, 1, 10, 100-fold starts heading my direction. It goes around and it comes around. And it comes back around to me or to you if you're the giver. So both parties are blessed. It's the most unlimited win-win there is. Now what does that do? Let's go back to the economic system. What if these bankers would have taken all that money instead of bailed out banks, gave it to all the people in the United States, divvied up unconditional? What would have happened? They would have been overjoyed. They would have loved the bankers. They would have loved the politicians. They would have went out and spent it on whatever they wanted to, and this economy would have jump-started like crazy. They didn't do it. That's okay. We can start small and work big. We can start with you. We can start with me. So, the secret of unconditional cash is energizing it with unconditional love and giving it away unconditionally to who or to what or to whatever you feel deep inside your heart, in the love of your being and in your mind that you feel like giving it to. And you don't give it to anybody that you don't, even if they come and ask. I've been asked hundreds of times and said no. I've not been asked and done it. I've been asked and done it. I've asked for it and been given it. I've asked for it and been told no. It doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to give. You don't lose a friend if you ask them, hey, let's go out to a movie tonight, and they say no. You don't end the friendship. You just say, okay, they didn't want to go. So you don't ask a friend, hey, give me $100 unconditional cash. And they go, whoa, what are you talking about? Wait a minute. And then you explain it to them, and you share it with them. And they say, well, no, I really don't want to. And you say, okay. I'm going to demonstrate right here, right now. I'm going to ask you on our site to use our unconditional cash funds it button. Great technology. I'm going to ask you to give me money. Now, if you say, oh, well, this is what this guy's up to, just give him some money. No, wait a minute. You don't want to? Don't do it. Could care less. Bless you anyway. Don't want to give any to us? Give it to somebody else. Give it to the homeless guy on the street. Give it to your best friend. Give it to a waiter in the restaurant, but not as a tip, but as unconditional cash, and explain the difference. And as this concept, this secret perpetuates more and more and more, the economic situation will change. Will it perpetuate fast enough to hold off catastrophe? I don't know. We'll see. Will it perpetuate fast enough to give abundance to all and stop starvation on this planet? I don't know. We'll see. But back to the secret of unconditional cash. You take money, cash, electronic, bills, checks. You bless it with unconditional love, and you give it away unconditionally to whoever and whatever your heart tells you to give it to. You say, hey, I don't have enough money. I got bills, I got payments, I've got mortgages. Guess what? So do I. Guess what? Take $1. Take $1. Bless it from your heart with unconditional love, and give that $1 away unconditionally, and see what happens in 24, 48, 72 hours. Miracles will begin to happen. When you see that it works, do it again. Take a 5. Do it again. Take a 10. Do it again. Take a 20. I guarantee you, by the time you've worked up to a $100 bill and walk and give it away unconditionally, you will not only have experienced miracles, you will know in the core of your being and in the brain, mind, computer that you have that this works. I'm living proof. I've done it for 22 years. As more flows to me, I'm going to be giving more away to back projects here on planet Earth again. Lived 22 years without a job. Have I not worked? Of course I've worked. I've worked in computers, contracts. It's been a hard go in many, many cases. Simultaneously, I've given some away. And we have had gifts, Nina Joy and the girls and I, all over the years. Unexpected, unconditional cash gifts of money. It helped us along our way. It enabled us to raise our 3 daughters, full-time parents. We know it works. You try it. You'll know it works. Blessings to you. This is just the first video installment. I'm going to get into more detail of the principles of why it works and the how it works and how you can make it work for you even faster. Have a great day. Love from my heart to yours. Blessings. Thank you.